Howdy, folks. Welcome, one and all. Here's another wonderful episode. I've got the back all nice and dark, saving energy as much as I can. I'm working on the kitchen right now. So as you see over here, this is the pantry area, and I got the pantry inside done, but I'm just doing what I can for the kitchen. So let's see here. I guess I just have to put this up. This is going to be a bit of a pain. Make sure I got a good set of nails here, because four screws may not be enough to hold the whole entire thing up. Make sure I got everything here. There we go. And now all I gotta do is put it up there. So let's put you guys over here where you guys can see the whole shebang. Alrighty. Okay, we'll do the top now. It's always the same way. There we go. Okay. Got it up there. That's one part. Now the rest I'll do with the ladder, of course, screwing it in. But for now, it's secured enough. Do a little piece here, but before I do, I want to mark a little right here, telecom. And I'll mark it right. In fact, I might even mark it right here. So. It's been a wonderful day today, but very tiring. So let's see what we can do here. I might have to do this in two pieces to save plywood. I might have a piece this big, I don't know. See, 13 should be 62. Let's see if I have a piece that's 13 by 62 or thereabouts. Doesn't have to be blue, but I'd rather have the whole kitchen moist, mold resistant, just in case. Just so happens save your scraps, folks. Save your scraps. $61.5, close enough. And 13. Did I say 13 or 13.5? Let's find out. $13.5 here, 13.25. 13.25 might do the whole way, so let's just do that. So how's everybody doing out there? Hey, Dave, good to see you. People are bored. Not too much on television these days. Personally, I always just spend my life watching YouTube because it's a lot more entertaining than the stuff that they come up with these days. Particularly if it's an instructional program or a do-it-yourself or one of my buddies doing something. The beautiful thing about pieces so small like this is that you don't have to mark them because you'd be hard pressed to miss the studs. Let's see what we got here. All right, so don't have my helps if I actually have the screw gun at hand or at waist, I should say. And before we finish the rest off, we do our famous, if I can remember where I placed it. Oh yeah, it's over here. The locator. There it is. One box, ready to cut. Couldn't get any closer. It's a beautiful thing. In the garbage is there we go. Whoa, there's a metal plate. They're all good. It all takes one swipe of the compound anyway, so. There we go. That one's a little out. Always watch your screws, make sure they're inside, or you're gonna have it's just gonna be a lot harder when you compound. If you do compound. All right. We got everything except the top section there. And I'll show you that now. I took out, I don't know if you noticed, I took out my big, huge table from there. So now let's put those two pieces that remain where they go. Okay. Ladder time. Now let me find my ladder. Not in the laundry, not in grandma's. Ah, here it is in the linen box. All right. Corner. 25 3/4 by 44. Okay, we got plenty of that size or more. 25 3/4 by 44. Did I see a question? Ah, nope, no questions. 25 3/4 by 44. Always try to put the T-square, first of all, make sure your T-square is true, and always try to put it from the factory side, or you're going to be cutting twice, as they say, and measuring God knows how many times. Knife in my pocket, this in my belt. sure that's nice and straight, smooth, whatever, no bump. Knock down any imperfections, do some measurements. $17 and a half, 33 and a half from the edge. How's everybody doing out there? Everybody doing well? Everybody have a happy weekend, I hope. Oh, I missed one here. It's not that, it's that, and there we go. Okay, the others I can wing it. There we go. Now, let's go put this over there. Up there. Grab our all-important screwdriving tool. And here we go. Good. Good. Next. Another strip. Should have brought two with me, but hindsight is 20/20. As they say. Bad leverage. Yeah. That'll do nicely. Getting tired, folks. Getting tired. Been a long day. Hey, Dave. Good to see you. Yeah, little by little. Hey, cuz. The new timeline. I'm looking at move in by March 30th, but I'll probably have the CO by April. or around April. No, and not special screws, Jim. Here, hang on. Let me zoom in on this. There. You gotta love DeWalt. It's it comes with a here's the only thing about DeWalt. You got to buy the DeWalt bit because it's 4 millimeters, and most of the other bits are like 4.5. The 6-inch bits, the standard 6-inch drywall bits are bigger. So you got to buy DeWalt. Not really. I found 2 or 3 sources that are cheaper, but it's not like they're available everywhere. Here's the other piece. It's adjustable, so you can put 1 5/8 screws, 2-inch screws, 1 inch, 1 1/4, and then basically, you can twist it to any side, and collated screws, feed them through. Now, here's what I do. This little this handy dandy little collated piece. Well, let me hang on. Let me go. Okay, so as it goes through, it advances, and then it drills, and as you can see, the bit sticking out just the right amount to countersink the screw. So it actually goes through, if you can see it in there, it goes through the plastic. The plastic is made to allow the bit to pop right through, actually, and take the screw with it. Now, what I've learned is if you just use these once, you can easily reuse them and buy a box of 25-pound screws, which is like 7,000 screws, is $20 or so, and 1,000 of these collated is $20 or so. So you get 7 times as many screws. We went through that, and I saved a couple $100. But after a while, first of all, if you're doing it on the ceiling, forget it, because of the ceiling, the new ones are no problem. But when it's reused, they're weak and they drop, and sometimes they jam. However, if you're doing it on the wall, you see they drop down. So it's, if any, very, very few jams. After you use it 2 or 3 times, forget it. Just throw them away, the plastics, because they're no good after that. I've had people. I mean, you could if you deal with the jams and all that, and you're not into the speed, which is the advantage of this, then you can reuse these. I don't want to say indefinitely, but you can get a good 6-10 uses out of them, and that's 50 screws per strip. 20 strips per bucket of collated screws. But other than that, that's it's a sweet deal. I mean, when you turn it on, I could turn it on and leave it on if I wanted to, or I could I just hold it and wham, 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 and it's wreaking havoc between lifting the drywall and the drill at this angle. It's wreaking havoc on my shoulder, especially when I go full extension, and I'm doing it up on the roof and all that. So good thing I'm still in decent condition to do this, because if I did this for a living, 2 or 3 houses, I'd be shot completely. I need a new shoulder. Did the basement and glued paneling on for steel studs. I'm not too happy with it. I thought about script. Well, it's funny you say that, because get your opinion on this. I have the outside, the patio. I'm doing. You can see over there. I already stained them. I did these beaded boards. Bead board. I don't know what you call it, but they're like T111, but not really. They're bead boards. They're beaded plywood, thin stuff. I mean, we're talking 3/16. No, it's more than a 1/4 inch, 5/16. Well, anyway, regardless of the thickness, it's. I'm bringing up the trusses outside, and I don't want screws to show. I don't mind stapling them, with those little tiny, the 1/4 inch staples that are, like an inch and a half or 2 inches deep. I'm considering gluing them, running a bead of glue, putting it up with the drywall lift that I have, and then ting, 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 and then stapling them. And that should be fairly hidden, particularly since most of the way it's designed and the way I designed it, most of the screws will land right on the bead, so it's hard to see a small staple in the bead. I mean, I could pin nail it, but I don't want to do that either. And it's 10 feet up. No one's going to look up and notice in the patio. But regardless, I want something nice. So, problem with keeping it pressed against the stud wall while the glue dried. Yeah, I hear you. That's a big issue. In my case, obviously I'm going to be stapling it every so often, but that drywall lift that I have, it's got like an H pattern, and it'll push the. Actually, no, it's got one beam holding four vertical bars, and they each got rubber things on them, so that thing will push the. So imagine, if you will, pretty much at the 6 inch. If you're looking at a piece of plywood, it presses on the horizontal at the 6 inch and the 36-inch mark. 6 inch and 42-inch mark. 3 feet apart, and then divide by 4 divided by 6, it's 7 feet. 84 divided by 4. I can't even think about it, but it's a good distribution, so that'll work. The advantage that I have on these, which I still could do it, I should have done it outside, is here I've got battens everywhere. I've got 1x4 battens running every 16 inches, perpendicular to the studs. So number one, in case the studs are a little wonky, this thing will even it out. And then you have the drywall itself to even it out even more. Everything's layers and layers, getting rid of the wiggle, if you will. But I mean, the ceiling looks fantastic. It's not finished yet. As soon as the compound is on, that's when it'll truly come out. However, I'm shooting for a textured ceiling, so that'll hide anything. The walls are another issue. The walls, there's 1 or 2 walls, because I've been using 2x4 pressure treated walls. I let them sit for a good couple months, but even so, you put them up and they'll twist, they'll warp. There's 2 or 3 walls that have as much as a 1/2 inch bow in one, and so it goes out 1/2 inch and then back in. So the whole wall is straight, except it bows out a little. I shimmed it. It's fine. It's not a problem. But it's something you have to deal with, and I put them all crown facing the same way. Even so, some of them, it's like an S, and those were the good ones. It happens. Steel studs, no. I wanted to stay away from steel studs. They strip, they're annoying, and then the worst part about it is when I go to use a stud finder to find my cables and all that stuff in the future, I like to know where my cables are. I don't want to be misled by a stud or two. And wood is so much easier for me to work with, so I did that. Well, I got the inside done here. There's a little piece that you'll notice. You may or may not notice it, but right here, there's a little piece of it's about 1 inch lower, the drywall, because oddly enough, I've got double headers everywhere. not just on the load-bearing walls. I did it on all interior walls. I just went crazy. One of them, I don't know what I was thinking, but when I nailed it, and I already finished nailing it, it was off by half an inch. It sticks out half an inch. I was going to take the oscillating tool and cut the whole thing, and I thought, you know what? Who cares? It takes tape on top of it. The tape's 2 inches. It'll cover the whole thing up and no problem. And on the other side of the gap, I fill it in with mesh tape. It's no issue, because now the wood is actually even with the drywall on this side. It's still a little, so not important. That's why they call it rough carpentry. And that was some a little rougher than others. All right, so I shoot for perfection at the end with the details, because you know what they say, the difference is in the details. And I've seen, I'm not trying to say I hide a bunch of stuff. Everything's structural and solid. But there are, you know, occasionally a drywall is well, I cut it a 1/4 inch short, and there's a gap of a 1/4 inch. Look, I don't want everything to butt up perfect. I mean, I don't care if everything doesn't butt up perfectly. I'll fill it in with joint compound. I'll put the tape, I'll put the mesh tape on it, it won't crack. I've done it many times before, or a few times before, and because I'm not a drywall guy, but it's none of that's an issue. It's not like I'm slitting a load-bearing wall in the middle or anything like that, you know. So it's you know, this thing looks fantastic, and frankly, you got to save as much time as you can, because you know, my original estimate was October of last year to be done. One thing leads to another, between the shingles taking longer, the heat of the summer, the trusses being 11 months delayed, and I mean, on and on and on and on. I can go on and on, but the biggest reason for the miscalculation, if you will, of time is I'm used to having a crew. I'm used to having a crew of minimum 3 guys and one guy helping me. And that was a long time ago. So number one, first and foremost, I'm overweight. Number two, I'm 58. I'm not, 18 or in my 20s anymore. And I don't have 3 guys in my crew. So for those of you that have worked alone, you understand, like what I've been doing right now. It's not just somebody slices a piece of drywall, hands it to me, and I'll put it up, or somebody holds it up and I screw it in. No, it's I got to go down. I got to go up on the ladder, measure. I got to go down. I got to cut the drywall. Then I got to go back up with the drywall and all my tools and put it up. And that's best case scenario. It's numerous times up and down the ladder. The electrical was a nightmare. It's not one guy crawling through the attic and while one guy's feeding him and the other. No, it's me and luckily I had the spinning the Romex feeder on one wall, but I had to grab it from one side, go down the ladder, move up, and you go pull some more, go down, pull, and I'm not in any shape to be. It was faster for me to climb up and down the ladder and pull it from one side of the house to the other than it would be for me to get up there and wrestle with. And you guys know, you guys have done attic work. You practically need both hands just to keep yourself steady. You can't just be, well, when I was young, it was a different time, but you can't just walk on the trusses without steadying yourself. You got to hold yourself with something, particularly if you're bending underneath, ductwork and you're climbing over ductwork and plumbing and drain lines. And it's just a spider web up there of stuff. So it was a lot easier this way. So my guesstimate is, I figure let's see, we're into practically, by the end of February, I definitely should have all the drywall in place and the two of the shower stalls in place because that goes along with it. And then I should already have begun the joint compounding. That should go quick because I got all the level 5 tools. I got the banjo. I've got the the pump and all the stuff. So that should go well. That should go quickly. We'll see. Well, you'll see because you'll be here right with me. And yeah, but I'm having fun. I'm having a blast, and that's the key. The thing is, it's the journey. The only part that's almost a year ago, my wife moved in with me in the RV while we're waiting. That way we could sell the house and continue to fund the project because you need to have money from somewhere for materials. Well, two people living in a tin can is not a problem. I mean, she's in over there and I'm working over here every day, and she has her job to go to, so it's not a big issue. But she is chomping on the bit already to move into her house, and that small amount of pressure, weighs on me. But other than that, I mean, for me, I could take a year doing this, and I'm happy as a clam. And after I do the important stuff and get the CO and moved in, then comes the warehouse, and then I can take my year and I can do all my stuff because I got a lot of stuff to do in the shop. The shop right now it's got the furniture in it. It's got 2 RVs inside it, which we're living in. It's got the all my junk and all the materials for this house, jacuzzi, toilets. I purchased all that stuff at one hell of a bargain, but you got to get it on Black Friday, and you got to get it in bulk deals and stuff like that, and that way you get deals. Instead of paying $900 for a fancy toilet bidet, I got one for $500. But I had to buy 3, and I need 3, but and get them early, so things like that. But time is money, but space is money too. So anyway, let us continue. I've got a little bit of time. My daughter is on the way home, and I'll probably shut this down about that time. But let me go ahead and walk you guys inside because there's one piece missing. Right here inside the pantry. It's that piece. So I'm going to work on that now. Let me find out what the measurements are. Knock that one out. Then I'll take my times and do these little sides here. Eventually it all gets compounded, but this is going to be just under 44, so it's going to be around 40 and a half by, of course, 26 3/4. No, 40 and a half by 25 3/4. Okay. 26 will do. 26. All right, 26 by 40 and 3/4. Just make sure. 40 and a half. 40 and a half. 26. Always write down stuff. You'll see me scribbling all over the place here, because by the time I get down over there and find a piece that fits, I'll forget. There's a not to dish the American standard, because I'd never do that because I live by it. But there are some advantages to working with metric. You only got to remember one number instead of a half or a quarter or an eighth or 5/16, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Worse if you're working as an auto mechanic and you got to remember 64ths or a milling milling metal. 26 by 40 1/4. So let me go ahead and knock one of those out. I'll be right back, folks. 40 1/2. 26 by 40 1/2. I'll tell you guys what I'm doing now. I just set a piece that's oversized, and I'm going to cut it down to 26 inches now, slitting one side. The 26-inch side is slit. I'm going to turn it around, snap it, and there it is. And sorry about that. Always drop the T-square for all that. There's the 26. Now I just need the 40 1/2. So I'll grab my measuring tape again, flip this back up, mark it at 40 1/2. Make sure to put the T-square, very important, on the factory edge side. And something kind of funny, but it wasn't that funny, just happened to me. When the T-square fell, it almost, and I say almost, fell on top of a 12-volt battery that I have here from the mower. The battery's still got a charge on it, and if that aluminum would have been across both terminals, it hit one terminal. It was almost across both. That would have been an interesting little, well, we've gotten a new T-square. Okay, the small piece is cut. I'm just about to rasp the two edges. One edge. Second edge, and the other two are factory. So here we go. This should work. Should have, would have. Alrighty. I'm back. I will need this thing. Yeah, no, I still have to do one more thing. Gotta measure this. 8 1/2, 24 1/2. Sorry, folks, give me a sec. So, making a mark at 8 1/2, now 24 1/2. Snapping the T-square to mark my screws. Drop my tape measure, how nice. And marking the 24 1/2 line. And marking the 8 1/2 line. The two sides I don't care because I can, just get those. I can eyeball those. Putting my pencil away, grabbing my measuring tape. This bending down stuff, man, is for the dogs. Well, it's for the whoever, for the birds. Okay. Now we're all set. Now we're ready to finish this wall. Now, for those of you wondering how one guy handles stuff, sometimes I use the suction cup and push it up from the bottom, making sure it's, sometimes I just measure it and place it on the ladder before going up. Just enough so I can get up there. And as always, near perfect fit. Come on. Get back a little further, get a better angle. And great, out of all of that, and you didn't even see it. Sorry, folks, but there it is. Look at that perfect fit. And of course, I gotta go down and get some more. See what I mean about up and down and up and down? Now, if I was 20 years old, I would be carrying a waist in a belt with a bunch of these things on them. But frankly, I don't have the shape for that anymore. A belt just slows me down considerably. So. All good. Okay. This part's done, that part's done. Now I just have the little tiny 3-inch strips and 1-inch strips, you know. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate the compliment of what I've done at my age. But anyway, I'm happy because this section's done. And I think with that, folks, well, you know what? While you guys are here, I'll just finish off the blue, you know, this stuff. Let me see if I have one that's 3 inches wide already. I got one that's close. Nope, a little too big. So I'll cut a few 3-inchers now, and measure first. Make sure it's 3 inches. Yeah, exactly 3 inches. And then I'll just cut it from one of these. I'll just cut a few. Because all I really need is one, two, I'll just cut 4. Show you how to do this as quickly as I possibly can. I'm going to cut at the 3, the 6, at the 9, and at the 12-inch mark. And I don't even have to bother. Normally I would mark them all, but you know, I'll just do it with a knife. 1, 2. 3. And 4. In case you're wondering why I'm doing it slowly, well, relatively slowly, is because the last thing I want is this thing to slip off the this and cut my fingers. So I take it as easy as I possibly can. All right, I got 4 pieces. And just to make it nice, I am gonna flip the blade to a new side. So I get a nice sharp edge when I cut the sides off, and when I flip it over. First one, 3 inches. There's one. Next one. Snap at 3 inches. There's 2. Third one. Snap at 3 inches. There's 3. And last but not least, the 4th one. Now, ideally, they'd come out perfect, but that's never the case. So that's what the rasp is for. On 2 sides. And you wonder why my shoulder hurts. 3. Luckily, 4th one has a factory edge on it. And 4. Okay, folks, let's knock this out right here. Okay. One down. Two down. Grab the knife. Make the mark. Snap. And trim the excess. This way looks better. Oh yeah. Next one. Same puppy. Snaps, trim, done. Every now and then, I happen to get one in between two boards, and then it's loose, so I gotta unscrew it, get rid of it. No big deal. Okay, this piece is done, and now I call it quits. Thank you all for dropping in, and it's that time of night. Before I go to bed, I'm gonna just knock that piece off, but I'll do that off camera. I'm a little tired. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks all for dropping in, and until the next one, have a great evening, folks. Have a great weekend.